then it's death do us part. Look, so how you feel about this truth I done shown? This ain't the life you think, little nigga. I should want. Even your own people go disown. And the Lord said they hate you for my name, so you better keep it on. Ain't no more guessing, ain't no more questions. Make sure my election till I'm tucked away like George Jetson. Murder for capital, now it's murder at the Capitol. The world in amazement, we like fuck 'em, raise it. I pity those watching life as it goes by. Be giving mercy in this life, I don't know why. In pump smoke, never try to. The dead at home, my brother be the dead, that's all I don't. The photo, salute my nigga, salute my. They like, how you stay focused? I told them I'm motivated cause of you, my nigga. Brotherhoods and weapons, still got weapons on the scene. Now I never do my niggas like Bishop did Raheem. Never mind in all beliefs, they under anesthesia. Shorty say she need me, said she wanna let that love go. Told I let that love grow. But if I bring you to my bed, that's a blood. So, how you feel about this truth I done show? This ain't the life you think, little nigga. I should want. Even your own people gon' disown. And the Lord said they hate you for my name, so you better keep it on. Yeah.
Got me some drink. Got me some drink.
Hey, Shalom, brother. You too long? You
What?
good?
Man, you better get up. Man, I'm trying to get in there, man. You won't let me in there.
You came to the right place, brother. Hey, come on.
Man, listen, I just want to drink my drink, man.
Oh, shoot, what we got here?
Man, I'm trying to get in there and do some music, man.
Music? You do some music?
Me and my Tangeray.
The Tangeray, what you got?
All day, look at here.
Oh, nah, man.
I do music in there, man.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I got something better than that Tangeray. What's your name, bro?
Oh, yeah.
I got something better than
You
that
ain't got nothing better than this.
Check me out.
What?
You ever heard of Israelites?
Yeah.
It's the King James Version of the Bible right here. You heard about that? You know you're an Israelite? No. I got something better than that Tangeray, brother, and that music. Check this out right here.
What's up,
You'll
bro?
find this up right here in chapter Deuteronomy, man. Check that out. Find this up right here in this Bible, man. You know you're a royalty, man, according to this Bible. You know what I'm saying? You ever heard of YAHANNA? People call him Jesus Christ. Yeah. He's a black man, just like you, man. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? You are somebody, man. That Tangeray's all good, but this is much better. Man.
I'm glad. I'm tired of the lie, man. You telling me?
Tired of the lies. We all tired of lies, brother. You know what I'm saying? You can start right here. I'm gonna let you hold this down, man. Give me some power, man. You know what I'm saying? You tired of lies. Yeah, brother. Yeah. Man, what you got? He got. I'm gonna get with him.
No,
what
I got you. I got you. A little something.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna let you hold this down, brother. We got plenty more. You came to the right place, man. I.S.U.P.K, the commander, YAHANNA, man. You always come if you need something, brother. Yeah, right. We're gonna get out of here. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, brother. Hold it down. Do your music, brother. You know what I'm saying? Shalom, brother Christ, man.
Shalom, brother. Shalom. Thank you, brothers. Thank you, brothers.
You know my soldiers on the streets that really get it, all the pain that you seen, I can feel it. I'm your brother, you my brother, we connected. Have mercy on us, Lord. Please protect us.
I've been lied to my whole life. Now I found truth. It's alright.
I've been lied to my whole life. Now I found truth. It's alright. I know. I've been lied to my whole life.
Now I found truth. It's alright. I know, I know, I know, I know, I know, I know, I know. All I know is hustle, 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 hustle. Hard. All I know is hustle, hustle. Oh Lord, all I know is hustle, 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 hustle. Hard. All I know is hustle, hustle. Oh Lord, yeah. Oh Lord, yeah. Oh Lord, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Been lied to my whole life and I'm sick and tired of this shit. I'm sick and tired of this shit. Been lied to my whole life and I'm sick and tired of this shit. Somebody sick and tired of this shit. Hey, since day one they lied to us and we wasn't shit but slaves. But I found out what I found out, it was right there in my face. The preacher man, he lied. My mama, daddy didn't know. So I'm boxed in by lies. How the fuck I'm ever gonna grow? Hey, when the night falls and the lights out, you be reaching for some help. But when the real shit is bullshit, you be reaching for what's left. None of the lies gonna make it. You can read it for yourself. Here's the truth, you can't fake it. You need to find it for yourself. And nah, and nah, and nah. Oh, 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 I've been lied to my whole life. Now I found truth. It's alright. I know, I know, I know, I know, I know, I've been lied to my whole life. Now I found truth. It's alright. I know, I know, I know, I know, I know, I know. All I know is hustle, 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 hustle. Hard. All I know is hustle, hustle. Oh Lord, all I know is hustle, 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 hustle. Hard. All I know is hustle, hustle. Oh Lord, yeah. Oh Lord, yeah. Oh Lord, yeah. 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 Been lied to my whole life and I'm sick and tired of this shit. I'm sick and tired of this shit. Been lied to my whole life and I'm sick and tired of this shit. Somebody sick and tired of this shit.
Now turn the headphones up just a little bit. Yo.
So what we out with them? 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 So what we out with them?
When I say my prayers, I gotta turn to the east, turn to the east, turn to the east. Before you go to war, y'all, you better turn to the east, turn to the east, turn to the east. When I say my prayers, I gotta turn to the east, turn to the east, turn to the east. Before you go to war, y'all, you
I was dealing with. All I seen was stress. Now I really know the truth. And I understand what hurting niggas. Beast of the fields, they eat us up and they hurting you. U.P.K is what I'm repping. Siamese a weapon. Some of you niggas playing, but me, I'm really stepping. The mission that I'm on is waking up all our people. Show them we are the greatest. Nothing about a sequel. Them heathens, they gon' learn. Them heathens, they gon' burn. Esau is about to fall. Then Jacob is all turned. They been fucking with the chosen, so they gotta pay. Revelation 13 and 10. Tell me, what does it say?
When I say my prayers, I gotta turn to the east, turn to the east, turn to the east. Before you go to war, y'all, you better turn to the east, turn to the east, turn to the east. When I say my prayers, I gotta turn to the east, turn to the east, turn to the east. Before you go to war, y'all, you better turn to the east, turn to the east, turn to the east.
The blood that's in my veins descends straight from the greatest. All of my toolies go, but that 40 know it's my favorite. And we losing all our babies to this crazy shit we represent. The money and the world, nigga, this crazy shit ain't making sense. We the children of the light, and we fighting all the darkness. The way I'm stacking ammo, my bitches thinking I'm heartless. Them devils get the smile and got you thinking that he harmless. Remember Oklahoma? That is where them cracker bombs. The pain will make you wake up. You know they really hate it. Turn the truth into a lie. That's the shit they gotta pay for. The mission that I'm on is waking up all our people. Show them we are the greatest. Nothing about a sequel. Yeah.
When I say my prayers, I gotta turn to the east, turn to the east, turn to the east. Before you go to war, y'all, you better turn to the east, turn to the east, turn to the east. When I say my prayers, I gotta turn to the east, turn to the east, turn to the east. Before you go to war, y'all, you better turn to the east, turn to the east, turn to the east.
Okay. Check. Shalom. Salakia. We good? Shalom. Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shabrakatah to my brothers. Yahweh Shamar Alatah by Shem Yahweh Shabrakatah. Salakia. To my sisters. Priest and officer Bon Kayal coming out of Fayetteville, North Carolina. This is the Israelite School Universal Practical Knowledge coming out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Shalom Israel. Nosotros somos la S.H.A.L.A.M. desde la calle 1 Oeste 125, Harlem, Nueva York, bajo el mando del General YAHANNA. And I basically just said, Shalom Israel. We are the I.S.U.P.K. started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General YAHANNA in Spanish. Si tu eres Latino, Negro, o Indio, Nativio, tu eres Israel. If you are Latino, Black, or Native Indian, you are Israel. All right. And so this is the Monday night history class. All right. Monday night biblical history class with priest and officer of 1,000 Bon Kayal. And there's a lot going on in the earth. A whole hell of a lot going on in the earth today, especially here in the great US of A. All right. We have a new king, according to the so-called devil. Shalom Shkatah. What's up, sir? You want the class? Most High in Christ. So we got a new oppressor. Yeah, today Donald Jackass Trump was inaugurated as the POTUS, as our brand new commander in chief. Man, he's the boss of all bosses. Man, he's top. All right. Today he was inaugurated. All right. And it was a really interesting event to witness. You know, all the worship, all the vain worship, man. Every so-called Black, Hispanic, or Native Indian, you better remove your spirit from this place.
That's right.
All right. America has never been about us. It's never going to be about us, regardless of whatever pipe dream they sell us. This place will and forever be bondage to us. This is modern day Israel to so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, man. And the new commander in chief is Pharaoh. All right. We have to recognize who our power is. All right. We got to recognize that we are one blood related family. We are one nation, so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, man. One nation, blood related. All right. And us recognizing the value of us gathering ourselves together, you know, will help amplify the truth about who our oppressors actually are. It will highlight them. They're going to glow once so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians come together and recognize all the evil that's been done to us in our respective communities, wherever we are. And we know that we're on the bottom of society, all right? And that should not be, according to what my Bible says. Give me Deuteronomy 7:6. My Bible teaches that we are a royal nation, man. We are the only royalty that's ever graced planet Earth. Don't get caught up on what they show you on via mass media, through the radio, through the news, you know, through social media, through the internet, of who should be honored or held in high esteem in this empire. You're looking at, people still honor Princess Diana, man, who was a whore. All right. People still honoring the Queen of England. Salak, if I may. Yeah, people still honoring and holding high esteem all these people that mean absolutely nothing to the Most High Power, man. All right. I mean, we could probably go into that breakdown, Quadam. I think that's a better breakdown. That's a more appropriate breakdown. You know, I think we've given enough honor and glory to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. You know, today I wanted to go into showing you that there is a direct correlation, a direct parallel between Martin Luther King and his ideology, his philosophy, the things that he did in his real time, in real time, in the space of his private time, the things that were hidden from you, hidden from the mass media, man. And Donald Trump. Martin Luther King and Donald Trump are one and the same. Martin Luther King subscribed to the philosophies that basically describe exactly who Donald Trump is and what America is and what they stand for. All right. Trump, he made there's a lot of big talk going on today. A whole lot of big talk coming from the top today. He wants to rename Mount Denali after Mount McKinley, another oppressor. Okay. He's going to also what? Change the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. He wants to take Greenland. He wants to reclaim the Panama Canal. What else does he want to do? Oh, he pissed the LGBTQIA plus community smooth off today. And all he did was state what we've been telling you the whole entire time about gender. There are only two genders acknowledged by the Most High Power, man. Only two genders that he created, man, and that's male and female. And Donald Trump today, he said that there will be only one gender recognized. Well, Salakia, two genders recognized in America. And I know you could hear the room. It was applaud. They were applauding. It was roisterous celebration. You know, because people are sick and tired, man. They're sick and tired of being sick and tired. But if you so-called Black, Hispanic, or Native Indian, don't rest your hat on that. Don't hang your hat on that. Don't share in the zeal that they have. Don't begin to celebrate the way that they do. All right. This empire, its primary task is to keep you relegated to the space of a slave. All right. He also, what else did he talk about today? He talked about the gender. He said he's going to create an external revenue service. We know, Americans know about the IRS. I mean, we in the midst of tax season right now. Render unto Caesar what is Caesar's, right? That's what our Bible says. That's what Christ taught. That's what we do. That's why we abide by the laws of the land. All right. Go ahead. Get in. Get down. Oh, who had a yarmulke on? I do not. You know what? I was listening to. I didn't get to watch it. I seen bits and pieces on the news, but I was listening via NPR today. The so-called oppressors, the devil that the Bible speaks of, man. If you but they had people that were from different faiths that were there casting their spells, saying their prayers over Donald Trump and his regime, the oligarchy or whatever you want to call it. Because there's nothing more than a cabinet that is formulated of rich men. That's the great man theorem, for you to be semi-tall, educated, white. You're in the good old boys club, and you think about the people that he leans on for as far as his advisors, people that he respects. None of them are broke. So he don't give a damn about your vote if you so-called Black, Hispanic, or Native Indian. All right. He doesn't care about your opinion. Now, for the sake of appeasing, popular opinion, he's going to grease you up real good with smooth words. But the Bible says that what? War was in his heart. War is in his heart. That's another thing he talked about. This bastard is ready. He is ready and willing to push the damn button, man. He's ready and willing to go to war with the enemies of America, whoever that may be, foreign or domestic. So if you are against America and their ideals, and he mentioned manifest destiny today, if you're going against manifest destiny, the idea of America, being a land that stretches from sea to shining sea, man. Everything the light touches, essentially. Salakia. Everything the light touches is what these bastards want and proclaim as their own. And they are willing to rape, rob, and murder to get it. All right. And that's another thing he talked about, is the whole censorship thing. This is a new regime. Now we're going to be able to speak freely, or are we? Because we speak against America. We speak against the military. We speak against law enforcement because of the way that they treat us, man, because of their crimes against us. All right. Are we public enemy number one? Like I said, if you so-called Black, Hispanic, or Native Indian, do not rest. This is not a time for us to get comfortable. What's that? Micah 2:10. Give me Micah 2:10. Let's go to Micah 2:10. Hold Deuteronomy 7:6. Go to Micah 2:10, man. Because this place, man, is toxic to God's chosen people. And we have to realize and recognize who we are, man. We're the nation of Israel. All right. Regardless of what they named you, all that damn African-American BS that they're force feeding us. They threw the jigaboos a bone. Top of the year, man, with MLK Day. On the same day they honor Martin Luther King, they honored the so-called new POTUS, man. Inaugurated him today. This is how you know that they're the same. They're in the same spirit. They have the same agenda, and it's to destroy God's chosen people. All right. If you can, read Micah 2:10 for me, brother.
Khan. It's the book of Micah, chapter 2, verse 10. Arise ye and depart.
Who?
Arise ye and depart.
You got to understand who do you think Micah's talking to right now, man? Arise ye and depart. What kind of state do you have to be in for someone to tell you to arise? Usually you relaxing, you sprawled out, you sleep. That is so-called Negroes, Latinos, and First Nation peoples, man. We are asleep. Micah's telling us to get up. Get up and do what?
Arise ye and depart.
Arise ye and depart. Wherever you're resting, you got to get up from that resting place. Whatever you find comfort in. Wherever our people are, man. We got our hooks into something that has been destroying us, man. We've been anchored in that which is cancerous to God's chosen people, man. Arise ye and depart. Why?
For this is not your rest.
How can so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians get comfortable where we are anywhere on planet Earth? You think about our communities, where we live. Where do we live? Where you live? Yeah, we live. Tell the people where we live.
So like maybe we live in the barrios, the hood. You got us, some of us living on park benches, you know what I'm saying, and in camps, under bridges. Salaki.
You got us living under bridges like a goddamn troll, man. Let's go ahead, Ottawa.
I was gonna say, Salaki, I think we're a fool because there's a large majority of us that live on the East Coast. So we think like if we live in a decent neighborhood, we think, okay, we okay then. You know, my home ain't in the hood. I'm all right.
I have arrived.
Right. We okay, boy.
Yeah.
But the truth is, once we go outside of the East Coast in the South region, you go out to places like Wyoming, Nebraska, that Midwest, that area out there. You talk about the amount of property and the size of those homes and the amount of acreage that they roam free in. We have no clue about it. We are completely oblivious to being able to have farms and really going out to having our own.
Right.
Even in the South, like you live in, places like, Georgia and South Carolina, we're used to like farm areas, but we don't understand acreage of farms. You understand?
Right.
Like you dealing with 200 acres of just farmland. We're not used to seeing that. But you get a chance. I went to Des Moines, Iowa. I walk in Walmart and I'm like, oh shit. You need any help, buddy?
The music stopped, huh?
Yeah, but I'm walking around and I just see acres of just open land and maybe 2 or 3 houses. And one of the guys I was in the class, so I said, man, we don't live in no house. He said, oh no, that's our family, man. We own all this over here.
Good night.
I said, damn. So what do y'all do, man? We just sell horses. Damn. You know what I'm saying? Even in our success, we don't understand the level of freedom that you can have if we stepped outside of the environment that they orchestrated for us to stay in. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
The red zoning that takes place that we are completely oblivious to until you have a college degree.
Give him a hand. He's right about that. Yeah. We've been misinformed and miseducated in this place. A lot of what we need to know so that we can sustain ourselves to be able to survive has been withheld. He's speaking about redlining, until you start, like you said, you get a college degree. Now you have access to being able to make the money. You start making the money, then you go and try to purchase a home in a place that has been redlined, or this actual property has what you call a restrictive racial covenant on the deed, meaning that on this contract, this home can never be sold to a nigga like you, to a so-called wetback, or to a so-called Native American. This is the stuff that is on their contracts against us. And we would never know that. You wonder why this neighborhood has always been able to stay mighty white and to keep us from being able to even gain access to it. It's because they have formulated these contracts, man. They've always been against us. That is the American way. You think about the American dream, it is it's white. It don't have nothing to do with black and brown at all. If anything, if there's black and brown anywhere, it's in a subservient, subversive, substandard, dehumanized position, man. All right. And that's what we got to understand. That ain't the position for us. We cannot get comfortable even when we get our college degrees or when we learn a trade and we go into business for ourselves. That is the opportunity for you to be a brother or to be a sister. That's when you give back to your community. That's where you focus on brotherhood, which is synonymous with sisterhood. You know, it's bigger than just buying your damn mama a house. All right. You got nieces and nephews and cousins and brothers and sisters and other neighbors, other families on your block that could benefit from the resources that you're gaining access to. But what do? We go and get the most expensive vehicle that we can find just to be able to prove or disassociate ourselves from this poverty that we look at as a curse, which it is a curse. It's not wrong with having nice things. But how you going to stunt on your brother and he don't have a damn thing, man? Don't make sense. You're going to be the only, you trying to be the only Negro in first class? Everybody else got to what? Walk, use Pat and Charlie? You the only one flying. Anyhow, go ahead. You got something to say, Officer Quidon? Continue with that verse.
Okay.
I'll go off on a tangent and we'll stay there. So like here. Tell them where you are.
It's the book of Micah, chapter 2, verse 10. Arise ye and depart.
Right.
For this is not your rest.
That's right, man. Micah's telling you to get your behind up and to depart, to remove yourself from that place of respite. We've gotten too comfortable just being on the bottom. This is not our position. This is not our rightful position on earth, on the planet Earth, man, that the Lord created for our sakes. We don't even know that because we got these Christian pastors, man, that are gallivanting in front of us in their, what do you call that? Their paraphernalia, their Greek paraphernalia. They're getting us accustomed to the ways of empires that are beneath us. We're learning about things and we're embracing things that were never meant for us. We were never supposed to learn the customs and traditions or to be Americanized. We were never supposed to go through that process, man. You're an Israelite if you are so-called Black, Hispanic, or Native Indian. Get that through your thick skull. That is when you start to arise. That's when you really start to wake up. We all the way woke in the I.S.U.P.K. under command of Junior YAHANNA. All right? But if you're in a Christian church or in these, I guess you can call them schools of thought, other schools of thought, ain't nothing but slumber parties in there, man. You're not learning anything new. This is different, what we're doing in here. All right? Micah says to arise ye and depart, because this is not our rest. Keep reading.
Because it is polluted.
We know about pollution, especially if you grew up in the 80s. It has so much information about pollution. These days, we only focus on what? Global warming, which parallels to what we see happening on the West Coast with the wildfires, or the reason why we're having to deal with these tremendously low temperatures on the East Coast. It's all due to what? Global warming and the rising of the sea levels and, whatever. None of that matters. So-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, you don't have a hand in any of that, all right? We got to recognize who the Most High Power is and that his will be done, whether you like it or not. All you got to do is learn to be obedient. All you got to do is learn who you actually are, your identity. That's what we should be focused on. And in learning our identity, now we can recognize who our family members are, being other so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. And boy, when we figure that out, now you're cooking with hot grease. Now we can actually get somewhere. But right now, so-called Israelites have unfulfilled potential on planet Earth, man. Outside of the I.S.U.P.K, we are absolutely raising our nation up, man, to its royal standard, man. And that won't be fulfilled until Christ returns. Go ahead, Ottawa.
Con, what you saying is so heavy because what we do is the truth. Wow, we stopping women from going through their whole phase at an early age. You understand? We tell them, hey, sex is marriage. So you might want to contemplate that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
See, the word I want to hear that. You you going through a whole phase. Oh, don't say that.
Right.
Hey, brother, you think you a player? All right, all right, keep playing. You a player? Keep playing.
Right.
Don't talk like that. You know, everybody got to have their phase. Well, somebody to go back and tell the people how those phases affected them in their lives, in their relationships today. Nobody likes to talk about that. We can talk about all the fun we had, Bunker, y'all. All the fun and but nobody ever talks about the heartbreak. Nobody ever talk about the lonely tears. The girl that you loved and you knew she was a hoe, but you loved that hoe. That man that you love, he was putting his hands on you. He had no basis, no type of guidance, no type of structure, no type of discipline. But you loved him because he looked like Tupac.
He was a high value man.
He was a high value man. See, I love to talk about this truth because it allows everybody to kind of, take accountability to help the next generation.
Right.
You understand? Like the Christian church, the accountability does not accept that it's not about helping the next generation. It's about you and your God and what God done gave you, this new Cadillac and this new house. Glory be to the Holy Spirit in the fire, in the mountain and the clouds.
Right.
But nobody talk about the babies that need the help, man.
Right.
Nobody's telling that young lady, hey, wait a minute, young, don't do that.
That's right.
I know they told you it was fun, but I know this whole phase gonna have all the men in the high school looking at you like you some type of snack. Brother, you play basketball and football, you real popular until your ding ding look like Willie Lump Lump, and it ain't,
good night.
You gotta scratch it for the
Nestle Crunch.
Yeah, Nestle. You gotta Star Crunch. Yeah, because nobody ever told you that who you have sex with matters.
That's
you
right.
Understand?
That's right.
That's what make this thing go, Bunker, y'all. The water priest.
No, damn right. Give him a hand. He's absolutely right, man. Getting into the weeds are the reason why we in the damn swamp, man. Sex is marriage. A whole phase. Oh man, that is something that has been promoted throughout every facet of our society. When you think about Black culture, the things that they promote, you turn on BET, you turn on, does VH1 even exist anymore? You're looking at, social media and TikTok. I was grateful when they shut TikTok down. Which one? This right here. I was so grateful when they shut TikTok down, but then in the same spirit, it was like, oh, that was another conduit for our truth to get out, to the masses. So it was kind of bittersweet, but you think about the wickedness that gets promoted on TikTok under the guise of innocence. It's a children's app, these are just innocent dances, It's a lot of evil that has been promoted to our people. That is what's polluting us, all right? And we don't recognize it as pollution because this is their way. This is their natural culture. These are the things that they do naturally, in spirit and in truth. This is who these people are. And this is, we can't follow after these people. We were told, commanded by the Most High to be peculiar, to be strange, to be set apart. And so much so the Lord severed us from all the other people, from all the other nations. He gave us our own customs, traditions in the form of statutes and commandments. We have our own feast days. We have our own high holy days. Every week we have a high holy day with the Sabbath. But it's the complete opposite if you were to embrace their customs, their traditions, their values. This place is polluting us. All right? Keep reading, Officer Darash.
It shall destroy you.
That doesn't make sense. They promote eating pork, eating shrimp, eating crab, eating lobster. They say you eating high off the hog. That's one of the things that they say, meaning that you eating good. But we don't even consider that food according to the diet or the menu prescribed by our power, by our God in the Bible. You tell somebody you don't eat pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster, and they look at you like you're strange, as they should. They should look at you like you're strange because you are. You're supposed to be strange in their sight. Everything that you do, they should be scratching their head, trying to figure it out. We have the customs and traditions and the language of God. They don't. Get back to that. That's how you arise. We've gotten so we've become complacent. We feel like, we've hit a glass ceiling in this place. Ain't no sense in me trying to change or trying to do anything other than what everybody else is doing. Financial freedom is our only hope. And the people that actually get a bag from our oppressor and they're living in the lap of luxury, they promote this pollution. They promote this wickedness, this evil to their own brothers and sisters, man. And it's sickening. And even way back when, Micah recognized that. The Spirit of the Lord was on him, and he had work to do. That's what we're doing. We're following in the tradition of Micah in the I.S.U.P.K. under Commander General YAHANNA. We're going out. We're telling our people to arise thee. Keep reading. Read it from the top.
Oh, God. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you, even with a sore destruction.
We are destroyed in this place, man, because of the things that we do, because of the leaders that they prop up for us to follow, like Martin Luther the King Jr. or Orgy Mike is what we call him in here. We know something about Martin Luther King that's been suppressed from you. But old Donnie's going to release all that information. Everything that was classified is about to soon be declassified. He's about to get to it. And you know what? Most High in Christ to that, man. Maybe this is a form of the earth helping the woman, These truths, nothing that is covered shall be what? How's it go? Anything that's covered, that thing that is covered shall be uncovered. You can't hide anything, man. I'm paraphrasing. I got some real heavy hitters in the room with me right now. They're gonna pull the script, or the precept, because that's what we believe in here. We hang our hats. We rest upon the word of the Lord, man. This Bible is our paradigm to life. And we've learned to practically apply it to our lives. All right. This is the reason why we look so strange to you, because you've practically applied pollution to your life in the form of white culture, man. They want you to celebrate Kwanzaa, something that's made up, something that derives from Africa. They want you to believe that you're African if you're a so-called Negro. Negroes know you're not African. In your heart of hearts, you know you are nothing like a so-called African. Yeah, Luke 12 and 2.
Come on. This is the book of Luke, chapter 12, verse 2. It says, "For there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed."
And all the truth about our so-called leaders that America wants us to honor, wants us to, mold ourselves after. These people are supposed to be role models for so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. The jig is up.
Right.
The truth is going to be uncovered. It's going to be revealed, man. And in John 8:32, Christ told us that ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free, man. That's what you call true liberation. You want to free yourself from bondage? You got to get in here, man. You got to get in here and sit at the feet of the prophets to learn this truth, to learn this Bible, man, to learn these facts. There was nothing covered like us being the Israelites,
Right.
us being God's chosen people. And I know it's true, because when you look at what happened to brothers that started kind of bark up that tree, they started to hunt down that trail. You think about Kyrie Irving, you think about Kanye West, You think about Deshaun Jackson. You think about Nick Cannon. In the direction that they were moving in the public view, man. Master had to what? Correct them. He put belt to hindquarters when it comes down to those brothers because they worship money. They know what it's like to taste having real money, or what they would deem as being real money, having millions and millions of dollars. We can't even be thousandaires in the Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian community. You get $50,000 and you think that you living in the lap of luxury. You think that you actually are better than other brothers and sisters that are, living off of minimum wage. You're not. You're no better than them. All right. But there is nothing what?
For there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed.
Right.
Neither hid that shall not be known.
Good night.
Verse 3. Therefore, whatsoever ye have spoken in darkness shall be heard in the light.
And whatsoever ye have spoken in what?
Spoken in darkness shall be heard in the light.
Good night.
And that which ye have spoken in the ear in closets shall be proclaimed the housetop. Slack upon the housetop.
Yeah, shall be proclaimed. A nigga on the roof yelling out about Martin Luther King and his so-called dream, which we realize as being a nightmare. We are living Martin Luther King's dream in the so-called Black and Hispanic communities, man. We're living it. The civil rights movement was a farce. You didn't actually gain any civil rights if you so-called Black, Hispanic, or Native Indian. All you did was just get closer to the beast that is hell-bent on destroying you. At least at one point in time, we knew, who we were, or at least we thought we did. We had our own everything, our own sources of industry. You talk about Black jobs, you need to really, from Babylon to Timbuktu, it goes into, Rudolph Windsor goes into all different forms of industry and vocation. It's a whole list of things that he, as a paleontologist / archaeologist / historian, researched. Officer Darash, you gonna pull the list? Yeah, it don't even matter. If you got from Babylon to Timbuktu, Officer Darashi's looking for it right now. But there's a whole listing, man. You think about who we are as a nation of people and what we had, where we come from. It's not what America wants you to believe. It's not what so-called white society wants you to believe about your origin story. It's not what they're teaching our babies via their school curriculum, man. It's not at all. We can find our history right here in the pages of this Bible, man. It speaks about our ancestry. It talks about our forefathers. Instead of you teaching your children about George Washington and Thomas Jefferson and Andrew Jackson, you could teach them about Abraham. You could teach them about Isaac. You could teach them about Jacob. Those are our progenitors, or the forefathers of our great and separate royal nation. You can learn about what made them special in the sight of God, man. The one true living power that created the heavens and the earth and everything that you know to be true about reality. That's what we should be focused on. All right. You don't have to look into that, Officer Darash. Finish off Micah, and then we're gonna go to Deuteronomy. And I got I'm gonna send this article to the email, Officer Quadam. We're talking about that traitor, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Shout out to Officer Shabaya Allah, man, out of the Charlotte school, man. That brother went and took a class from General Mayaka Allah, man. A true steward, a true student, and taught a very powerful class about Martin Luther King. So much so I was inspired. I was inspired in the spirit of the Lord to go into Martin Luther King Jr. Now I don't have Shabbat zeal, man. I love my brother, man. You know, he allowed his spirit to be loose within the earth, and I learned some very valuable things from his class, man. All right. So do yourself a favor, man. Check that class out. And I pray that in the spirit of the Lord, I can, what's the word that they say that they use that we hate? Edify. That we can edify the people. We want to educate the people to these truths that have been hidden and suppressed and covered about our leaders, man, our gates. Finish that. You finish that off, Officer Darash?
This is the book of Micah, chapter 2, verse 10. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you, even with a sore destruction.
That's right. We get destroyed, man, because we're sleeping in a damn cesspool. It's like us sleeping in the sewer, man. Us getting comfortable. We camping in a damn landfill. We're raising our children around that refuse. This is all that we know. It doesn't have to be all that we know, but these are the things that we choose. So, oh, you sharing that? Oh, Most High in Christ. Man, I say that the oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of. So much so, that was supposed to be the flyer for the class tonight. So I can't, because they, Martin Luther King and Donnie, they're the same, man. Same in spirit. The things that they love, are the things that they actually do, which are evil and vile in the sight of the Most High. Vile and disgusting. And if you so-called Black, Hispanic, or Native Indian, you shouldn't strive to be like neither one of them devils, neither one of them bastards. You shouldn't. I call them a devil because they're deceivers. All right? Donnie Trump is deceiving you just the same way in the spirit of Martin Luther King deceived you. In fact, Martin Luther King is the one that's pointing you in the direction of Donald J. Trump. You know what he's known for. Okay, Most High in Christ. Go ahead and ask his question.
So, like, if I may, sir, Brother Reggie said, "Con, sir." He said, "What do you think about Snoop Dogg and Nelly?"
Well, Salaki, if I may, young man Reggie, what you want to do is tune in to Commander General YAHANNA's America on Fire this evening. And men that have way more wisdom than I do was going to give you the official breakdown on Snoop Dogg, Nelly, and all them other traitors that decided to, step and fetch for Donald Trump. I can't give you an official breakdown on that because I have to concede to the men above me, But if you want to know what Officer Bankayal thinks, just give me a call at the class. Now, it's a lot here. We can't look at these people that the oppressor has propped up and promoted as being something that we should model ourselves after. I mean, look at Snoop Dogg. What is Snoop Dogg known for throughout the world, man? Throughout the entire earth. Snoop Dogg, is he known for worshiping the God of the Bible? Go ahead, Officer Darash.
Slaki, he's known for smoking them drugs.
He's known for what?
Weed, smoking.
He's known for smoking weed.
Right.
He's a goddamn drug addict. Not only on top of that, he's a gang member, man. Both of which have, destroyed our communities wherever we tried to set up shop and to live and to survive. What he's promoting, the drug usage, the violence with respect to, choosing a side based off of where you live. You killing people over colors, over neighborhoods, on neighborhood. That's what Snoop Dogg, he's performing for he performed for the president. I mean, we don't have to scratch our head behind this thing.
You think about Nelly. Oh, Nelly's so wholesome. My mind was blown when I got to see BET Uncut's version of Tip Drill. What? That's an easy thing. That was an easy thing to do, to stay up just so you can catch Uncut. Yeah, you can get that credit card. And we pick it. This is so wicked and evil. When it was growing up, we picking which whore is ours. We trying to choose whores as children, watching Nelly's Tip Drill. Golly, confession is good for the soul. You know what I'm saying? So Lockie, it was wicked and it was disgusting and it was vile. Creating whoremongers. Not just whoremongers, but whores. You think about a child that is watching that video, that Tip Drill video. And what are they seeing? If it's a little boy, what is he seeing? If it's a little girl, what do you think a little girl is learning from watching the goddamn Tip Drill video? Go ahead.
So this is how things are. So I guess this is how things have to be. So when the boys look at it, they think, oh, well, the women, this is how men get the women, I guess, being a rapper, smoking drugs. Women see, well, that's where the money is. So that's where they think that's what they think they have to be like.
It must be ass because it ain't your face. She want a Tip Drill. Yeah, you're right, Officer Darash. You're absolutely right. They're looking at this as being real life. They're children. They can't disassociate this from reality because you're teaching them about Santa Claus. You're teaching them about the Easter Bunny. We know rabbits don't lay eggs, right? You're teaching them about the goddamn tooth fairy and leprechauns at the end of rainbows with a pot of goddamn gold. You're not teaching them the truth about any of these things. So when they turn on the TV, what they see, they believe is being real. That's why we have a hell of a job, man, to do. In literally washing the brains, washing the minds of our people. Because we have been what? Miseducated. And it's been intentional. It's been absolutely intentional. Just go to, give me Deuteronomy real quick. I think it's really, really important. I love this verse, man. This verse is heavy when it comes down to identifying who so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are. And as I said before, we're one family or one nation, blood related, man. Being an Israelite is it's about bloodline. You are the seed of your father. If your father was a so-called Negro or so-called Latino or First Nation peoples, man, his father before him, you're an Israelite. You're God's chosen. Get that through your thick skull. Stop looking forward to the goddamn Puerto Rican Day parade every year. Stop saying that you're a goddamn Cuban or a Dominican or a so-called African American or a Haitian or a goddamn Mexican, man. You're an Israelite. Figure out who you are according to what tribe is acknowledged via the 12 tribes chart, man. The only place you're going to learn that is in the I.S.U.P.K, man. All right? We're the only camp that is authorized to teach this truth about the Bible to the people that God chose, man. So-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. And this ain't propaganda. These are the actual factuals. This is truth. All right? If you can, Officer Darash.
Khan, it's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7, verse 6. For thou art an holy people.
Right? Thou, so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, right? This wasn't talking to every damn body. It's talking to a specific group of people. You take communications and you learn, in basic communication, there has to be a sender with a message to a specific recipient. All right? This ain't talking to the whole earth. This is talking to one specific group of people. For thou, so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, are what?
Art an holy people unto the Lord thy God.
What does that word holy mean? In Hebrew, it's what? Kodash, right? Which means what? Separate, set apart. You art, meaning are, in the Old English, right? set apart, separate people. I got a Hebrew scholar in here with me. That's one thing that the church drops the ball with. They always dropping the damn ball. You want to learn how to fumble, go to a Christian church. All right. But we don't reject the language of, our ancestors. We don't reject the language of Hebrew, which will give you a deeper understanding just about the culture and the traditions of the Israelites. You're not going to understand anything. You won't understand what virgin means, what a Gentile is. You won't understand simple things. You don't know what it means to be holy because of what the Christian church deems is holy. You wearing all white, that don't make you holy. You putting on purple, that doesn't make you holy. Makes you gay. Salakia. I had to, Salakia. Read that again, Officer Daraj. Purple's just a color. It is what it is.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7, verse 6. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God.
That's right. We're a holy people, a severed, set apart people, family, nation, belonging to the Most High Power. And there's a possessive pronoun that says thy in there. God is for us. But yet and still, we continually give him our backside. We turn our back on God when we reject these laws, statutes, and commandments. When we reject just understanding. When we reject this Bible, we say it's a comic book. We treat the Bible like it's Mother Goose, like it's a folklore. The Bible is not the Talmud, man. All right? This ain't anything that's made up. All right? This is the actual record of our people. It's a separate record detailing, the plight of the Israelites. And it talks about our king, YAHANNA, who we foolishly call Jesus Christ because we rejected the language. All right? The Lord thy God, keep reading.
The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself.
Man, I know what it feels like to not be chosen. I know what it feels like to be rejected. Officer Zion said he went to a damn Walmart in Des Moines, Iowa. I guarantee you the music stopped playing. We went, where were we at? We were promoting the Passover and we was going down to, what's the name of it? You sent me to Lowe's to get, you sent me to Lowe's to get engineering paint. And I was Googling engineering paint and I seen it. But when I went to Lowe's, they're supposed to be the experts. And I asked them for engineering paint and they're like, what? They made a beeline for me as soon as I walked through the door. And it made me, we live in Fayetteville, which is basically only Fayetteville is what it is because of Fort Liberty or Fort Bragg. It's like literally a melting pot, if you want to call it that. You got people from all different walks of life converging in one area. All right. So you walk into Walmart, nobody's looking at you funny. But when you go off into these rural communities out in the middle of Ashboro, and they see you, the nigga in all black, wearing boots with pants that have fringes on them tucked inside of the boots. I'm sure they saw me jumping out of that big black truck in the parking lot and was like, get on him. As soon as I walked through the door, they had a sales associate greeting me, asking me what I needed. I say engineering paint. They had to get on the radio and call another sales associate to figure out what the hell engineering paint was. Went to the aisle with engineering paint. Anyhow, I say all that to say, if you're so-called Black, Hispanic, Native Indian, man, you are a special people, man. And we are not desired in this place. We're rejected in this place. When you walk into their establishments, they don't want to see you in there, which is what Martin Luther King fought for. And you can go and you can look up the videos online and you can see the sit-in movement, which is a part of the civil rights movement. And you got college students. You got our babies. You're trying to push them on white society, I would never allow my children at that point in time to be bused into any white district to go to school. Just, you're sending your children into the pits of hell. You're sending sheep literally amongst the wolves. You can look at the videos. You can look at the videos and see what's been archived. What type of vitriolic hatred these people have had, even for our children. So when you walk into a store, you think you're going to get A1 service like a red-blooded American, a so-called white man. You think you're getting the best service you could get? You're not. You're not. You're going to get subpar service. They're going to try to get you in and out as fast as they can. Only thing they're concerned about is if you have them greenbacks in your pocket. That's it. They don't give a damn about, they don't even really want your money half the time. Anyhow, keep reading, Officer Darash.
Okay. Above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
So we're hell-bent on trying to be equal with all these people, man. We're so focused on what the oppressor, promotes as diversity, equity, inclusion. We want to be included in white society. We want them to accept us. We want them to treat us fairly. We want to be treated like other white folks. But that's not what my Bible says or teaches about who we are and our actual position on planet Earth. Read that last verse again.
Okay. Above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
So-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians have been chosen to be special. You can't be special if you smoking and snorting and popping every drug that the oppressor is taking. You can't be special if you model yourself after the whores that their women have always been. You can't be special if you want to become a mass unaliver or a murderer like they have always been, what they have been known for, what they are known for currently throughout all the earth. You so-called Black, Hispanic, or Native Indian, you gotta be special. Special just means to be different. It means to be peculiar. It means to be strange. So not only are we supposed to be special unto the Lord. You can't be special unto the Lord keeping the traditions of white society, keeping the customs of America. You just can't. When you go vote, the Lord he don't recognize you. You go and you cast your ballot. The Lord don't recognize you as being one of his own. When you go set foot in a Christian church, the Lord doesn't recognize you. That's a separate covering. That's the covering of white supremacy. That is the covering of a slave to embrace Christianity as being what? The doctrine of God? We're supposed to be special, man. So special that we're above, not beside, not behind, never beneath, but above all the people. Read it again for them, Darash.
Okay.
Spell that word.
It's like you want me to read it.
No, you can just read up. Start it above.
Okay. Above, that's ABOVE.
You didn't say below.
Above.
You didn't say equal to.
Above.
It says above. All what?
Above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
Man, that is heavy. To be above all people. And Donnie said something today where he's talking about equality. And there's going to be this is a nation that doesn't see race. And I'm listening to Donnie like, you're delusional. You built your whole entire campaign off of creating division between the races. How are you not going to see race? It doesn't make sense. These are separations that the Lord put into place. these divisions. But so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians have to understand who we are. And we're supposed to be set above, all right? And going back to Micah, we're not supposed to be so comfortable with where we are. You think, oh, I got money in the bank, I got a home, I got my education, I got my family, we're good. No, you're not good. You're not good unless you're in here. You're not good unless you're keeping God's law, statutes, and commandments. Point blank, period, man. You're not good unless you know that you're an Israelite, man. You're not good unless you're paying your tithes to the I.S.U.P.K. You're not good. You're not holding true to your office, man. All right? Is there any more on that?
Live, sir.
All right. Drop that. We're going to talk about Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King. What do y'all know about Martin Luther King? Tell me what you know about Martin Luther King Jr. He was a what?
So, like you said, he was a sexual deviant.
He was a sexual. Whoa. Hold the hell up, Kodam. You saying that Martin Luther King, the Southern Baptist preacher, college educated Martin Luther King, Coretta's husband. You saying Coretta, Scott King's husband, is a sexual deviant?
He didn't say nothing about a civil rights leader.
We know a little something. Officer Kodam know a little something about Martin Luther King. Orgy Mike is what we call him in here. His real name is Michael King. He got raised up in the Christian church and he changed his name to Martin Luther King, man. After a devil, man. Some damn German, man. You know who Martin Luther was. He started the Lutheran church. That's who Martin Luther King changed his name to, man. And you look at us like we crazy when we come into the I.S.U.P.K. under command of General YAHANNA. We put on all black for a period of time to shed ourselves of the world, and we're given a Hebrew name. No, we earn a Hebrew name. You don't even understand how spiritual that is. To earn a name that's consistent with your characteristics, with your personality, your character, your demeanor. That's valuable. He just got named after some damn dead white man. He wanted to name himself after that. Anyhow, what else we know about Martin Luther King? What else?
Salaki, he had this dream where all nations of people could come together and live in one happy place.
Had another dream, right? A dream about what?
I said Martin Luther King had a dream that all nations could come together and live in this dream of his in a happy place.
Yeah, but look this up right here. The article is Martin Luther King was a depraved sexual predator. You see it? Damn, that's a hell of a title. You know, when we talk about things being revealed that have been covered, Martin Luther King, you know, he put on a good front. Everything that you think about a Christian woman would want, good God-fearing woman. Martin Luther King fit the bill for all of that. He had his college education. He was in a damn Greek fraternity. Martin Luther King pledged J Phi A, Alpha Phi Alpha. He had his college education. He had his degree, man. His name was what? Doctor. Got his doctorate. He was a Christian, good God-fearing. Pastored one, maybe two churches, if I'm not mistaken. And Martin Luther King fronted like he was monogamous. Every woman wants a monogamous man. You know what it means to be monogamous. Go ahead and tell him, Officer DeRush, what does it mean to be monogamous? Is that on? I don't know. I can't even hear you. No, Most High in Christ.
Meaning one, just being faithful to one wife.
Yeah, having one wife. You know, my wife is serving God, man. You know, when it comes down to a rib, that's another thing. That's another story, you know. In here, we understand that a man can have more than one wife, more than one woman, more than one rib. And we do it lawfully for those of you that have multiple ribs. Ain't nobody twisting your arm telling you have to have more than one. But you can't look at a brother sideways because he chooses to have more than one. Who the hell are you? You freaking and geeking. You got more than one, but you trying to hide it like Martin Luther King did. You're trying to hide the fact that you're not actually monogamous. You want the world to believe that, but it's not true. Is that the article? Oh, yeah. Yeah. Do me a favor. Let's share this article real quick. And we're going to get into it. Officer DeRoche, give me the book of Deuteronomy, the 13th chapter. Yeah. Yeah. Let's share this article with the world. No, that's the only one I really want to pull right now. I don't know if I want DeRoche to read that. Yeah, DeRoche might look at me like strange if I ask him to read that. I'm trying to be a brother, DeRoche. Yeah. Well, if you can, give me the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 13. Let's start at verse 1.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 13, verse 1. If there arise among you a prophet or a dreamer of dreams,
right,
and giveth thee a sign or a wonder. Verse 2.
Well, all right, stop there. When we talk about a prophet, you know, who's speaking literally for God, man? Who literally is the oracle of the Most High on the earth right now? Who is professing that their words are coming from God Almighty? Who? What people are doing this? What specific person is doing this? Go ahead.
Commanding General YAHANNA.
Okay, yeah, because you're in here, Officer DeRoche. All right. Spare us all, okay? Smart brother, if you're so damn smart, we're trying to teach the people out there, everyone that's tuned into this class, right? So we know that you know who's actually teaching the truth about God. Thus said the Bible, right?
The prophets.
But the people that are in the world, who do they believe is speaking for God? Because they walk right past your black ass when you're on that podium downtown.
Right.
And you're what? Crying aloud and sparing not. You lifting up your voice like a trumpet. They're telling you to get a job. That's what they're telling you. They're telling you that you are a part of the black KKK. This is a hate group. That's what they're telling you. They don't think that you are literally speaking for God. They don't look at you as being a prophet. Who do they look at as being a prophet?
The pastors, everyone dressed up in those so-called white man suits.
I'm gonna give him a hand. Yes. Yeah. There you go, DeRoche. Lay it down flat. Make it easy on yourself, DeRoche. Yes, I know that you know this only because you had the gall to come in here and to literally attempt to fix yourself. Officer DeRoche, when you walked past the camp, you didn't look at us like that. Maybe you did initially. You might have had some initial, reservations about coming in. We all did, right? Oh, so you heard the truth and you took hold.
Well, when I first saw the I.S.U.P.K, I kind of was like, these brothers are a little different. They wear their fringes different, but they seem to be legit in what they say. And I'm all about, if 100% true. So
you came in here and you did your own investigation.
I
ain't calling you a fed or nothing. I'm just saying you came in and you realized and recognized that what these brothers speak, they truly believe that. And they're practically applying these things, these biblical truths to their lives. These are the actual prophets. But we're talking about these prophets in the world, right? Martin Luther King, if we were to name any prophets in the world, he would be deemed a prophet. Would he not? We recognize Martin Luther King or Michael King or Orgy Mike as being a false prophet in the I.S.U.P.K. All right. But in the world, in the Christian church, they're not saying nothing negative about Martin Luther King. They're not. Keep reading that verse.
Verse 2. And the sign or the wonder come to pass.
No, go back to verse 1.
Come. If there arise among you a prophet or a dreamer of dreams, and giveth thee a sign or a wonder.
Oh man, you think about, the March on Washington. That right there was a sign. That was something wonderful to look at. All these people marching, converging on Washington. And then they heard what? This prophet, him confessing this dream that he had. The I have a dream speech. What did Martin Luther King's I have a dream speech? What did that entail? Everything that was inside of that I have a dream speech went against what the prophets of old, when you think about, from Moses to Isaiah to even Micah, it went against that. It went against what they laid down as being true. And they're literally speaking for God. Who the hell was Martin Luther King speaking for? Ask yourself that. Keep reading.
Verse 2. And the sign or the wonder come to pass.
Right. You think that March on Washington, that was something that had never been done before in the history of the great U.S. of A. How many people converged on Washington? You got Donnie up here lying, inflating his numbers about how many people converged on the Capitol for his inauguration. You've seen how many people flooded the streets for Obama's inauguration. It was so shameful. They're blaming the fact that they took his inauguration indoors on the cold weather. Like it ain't never been cold in January. It was ridiculous, the amount of people that showed up for this inauguration this year. That's the reason why they took it indoors. It wasn't the amount of people that showed up for the March on Washington. How many people showed up for that, Darash?
For that inauguration?
No, for the March on Washington. Yeah, say that again? No, not January 6th, not that March on Washington. I'm talking about the March on Washington for Jobs with Martin Luther King. Yeah. And you think about all those organizations that came together, the SPL, the SPLC, and then they had the NCAA, these black organizations by these uppity Negroes didn't give a damn about the God of the Bible and what the Bible actually said about our people being separate. They wanted to follow behind this dream of inclusion, this dream of diversity and equity. Go ahead.
Slaki, it says, according to Wikipedia, the March on Washington.
Oh, my God.
The amount of people.
You went to Wikipedia. Not you, Darash.
Well, 200 to 300,000 people participated.
That's a lot of people. That was a lot of people. You went for the first joint you saw, you took it. But Most High in Christ, the water for your research. Wikipedia, we don't use as a trusted source because anybody and their mama can put anything on Wikipedia and you believe it. If you go into any of the oppressors' higher divisions of thought, and you try to turn in Wikipedia as one of your sites sorted, they're going to give you a big red F.
Oh, come on.
So like here.
Well, they got another source.
I'm not saying there's not good information on Wikipedia. You just got to actually do your research. You got to research the research that they present on Wikipedia. Does it give you any numbers? You said 300,000.
200 to 300,000 people that participated, according to Wikipedia. According to Britannica, the March on Washington, it was estimated August 28, 1963, an estimate of 250,000 people.
That's a lot of people, man. That's a lot of people converging on the Washington Mall, man. And you can see the images. Kodam, if you can, you pull some pictures up of the Washington Mall, during the March on Washington, during Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech. Yeah. hold on, Salakia. Oh, Salakia. Shalom. Yahweh Shem Yahshua Allah upon Yah, man. Salakia. Let's do that, man. Allah upon Yah.
Allah for y'all. Barak. Yahweh Shem Yahshua Barakatah.
Damn right. Yah
Yahweh.
Most High in Christ. Good night. Most High in Christ. Salakia. We got the one and only Commander General YAHANNA that is on the YouTube right now, man. Shalom Adawan. The water for joining the class. Most High in Christ. Good night. I ain't never had that before. All right, so where we at, Officer Darash?
We're in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 13 and verse 2. And the sign or the wonder come to pass, whereof he spake unto thee, saying, let us go after other gods, which thou hast not known, and let us serve them.
So when you think about the other gods, man, when we talk about Martin Luther King, he's a Christian pastor. Christianity promotes the false ideology of white supremacy. We know that. But it also promotes polytheism. It doesn't reject the holidays of the so-called oppressor. At the root of every one of these holidays is paganism. They acknowledge other gods. We can go through the rundown. We can start at January, and we could talk about the so-called deity Janus, the two-headed deity Janus, reflecting on the past and focus on the future, man. The god of doorways is what they call him. What's next? They got Valentine's Day. They're going to be celebrating what? Lupercalia, if I'm not mistaken. You go into March, you go into April. You know, you go into Mother's Day, you go into Father's Day, you go into Easter. You know, all these observances, these holidays that they honor and hold in high esteem, point you in the direction of worshiping other what, Darash?
Other nations.
Read the verse.
Come on. And the sign or wonders come to pass, whereof he spake unto thee, saying, let us go after other gods.
Let us go after what?
Other gods.
Most High in Christ. Let us go after other gods. There's a little g there, meaning there's no power with these gods. These gods are not the God of the Bible, whose name is Yahweh, according to the Hebrew, the Tetragrammaton, the YH what? WH. That is a separate power. And we reverence the name of God, literally. It's not Yeshiva, Yeshua, or whatever the hell some gay pastor is telling you about God, man. Disregard whatever the hell T.D. Jakes taught you about God, whatever Creflo Dollar taught you about God, whatever Eddie Strong Long taught you about God, man. What you need to do is get your brainwash free from the priests and prophets in the Israelite School Universal Practical Knowledge under Commander General YAHANNA. What we teach you about God is the truth, man. The whole truth and nothing but the truth. All right? Which what? Keep reading.
Which thou hast not known.
Yeah, see, you think about our forefathers. We talked about our pedigree, our bloodline, our ancestry. You don't got to go to, what is it? 23andMe or Ancestry.com. You swab in your mouth and you put it in an envelope and send it off to some lab somewhere. I seen them do the same thing with a damn iguana. And where you guess where the iguana's DNA, where its ancestry came from? Africa, the land of the fly. All right. They're going to tell you that you're an amalgamation of a bunch of different nations. All you got to do is just look to your father, look to his father. He was a so-called Negro, Latino, or First Nations people. He's an Israelite. Ain't nobody on the earth telling you that outside of the priest in this school under Commander General YAHANNA. Ain't nobody on the earth teaching you this. You can't go down to Fayetteville State and learn this. They're definitely not teaching this at Methodist College. They're not teaching this at FTCC. All right? These gods that Martin Luther King promoted, these gods that Martin Luther King pointed our people in the direction of when he decided to become a pastor, when he decided to take on Christianity and change his name to Martin Luther from Malcolm King, man. These are the powers that our ancestors didn't know. These powers are not what made Abraham special in the sight of the Lord. It's not what made Isaac and Jacob, who literally wrestled with an angel, man. Got his name changed. He got raised up, man, in the spirit of the Lord. We ain't talking about none of those things. We worried about Martin Luther King's dream, which was a goddamn nightmare for so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Excuse my French, all right? And let us do what?
And let us go after other gods, which thou hast not known, and let us serve them.
Yeah, man, you think about all the time, the effort, the energy, the resources that we pour into serving these other gods. I mean, how the hell do you celebrate Martin Luther King Jr. Day? How do you do it? You know how to celebrate every other day. You know how to celebrate New Year's. Too many of our people had Hoppin' John, them black eyed peas and collard greens for the New Year's. Too many of our people were lost at the watch night service. Too many of our people erected a Christmas tree in our living rooms, set presents at the base of this Christmas tree in service to this other God, man, to this other deity, to this other power, which has no power. I never understood why we had to put the gifts underneath the tree. That was something that always plagued me. I didn't understand why. I always had questions about it. But because my parents were in the Christian church, they could never give me the truth about it. I had to come in here and listen to niggas that had braids and wore boots and had gold teeth, man, and told me the true history of Nimrod and him having an indecent relationship with his own mother, man. Is it Semiramis? And them having a son named Tammuz, man. And then you think about, you literally go into studying about the Yule log, and now you're starting to see the associations of with these other gods, and you realize that you've been worshiping. This is ritualistic worship in practice. These are the things. Martin Luther King never spoke out against Christmas. He never spoke out against you celebrating your birthday. He never spoke out against you celebrate Mother's Day, Father's Day, New Year's. He pointed you in the direction of what? America. He pointed you in the direction of what? The ballot box. He pointed you in the direction of white women. He wants you to think that, Coretta was his only love, his first love. When it's well documented that he was in love with some woman named Betty Moitz, man, who was a damn dog. But because it didn't look good for the movement, you had to be with a sister. These people are very wise, man, but they're only wise through wickedness. They're not wise through righteousness. All right? We're not supposed to be serving any other God, man, outside of the God of the Bible. If you so-called Black, Hispanic, or Native Indian, you got to learn to disassociate yourself from the things that you've learned here in America. We call it an Americanization in sociology. All right? You got to reject the culture, the customs, the traditions of this place. Because like Micah said, it's polluted, and it shall destroy us with a sore destruction. All right? Keep reading.
Verse 3, thou shalt not hearken unto the words of that prophet.
Thou shalt not what?
Thou shalt not hearken unto the words of that prophet.
You know what it means to hearken. We know what it means to not hearken or to listen diligently. You got to understand, man, when you know better, you do better. Your mama tell you, growing up, stop jumping on the bed. and you keep jumping on the bed, you weren't hearkening diligently. But you did when she came in there with that switch and literally put belt to you know what. You hearken diligently then. And that's just been the case for so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. You know, true love is what? Discipline. How do you learn discipline? Without punishment. Love is correction, according to what the Bible says. All right. So-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, we got to be corrected, man. We got to be corrected. We're not supposed to be hearkening unto the words of that prophet. We should have never listened to Martin Luther King. He said it out of his own mouth prior to him being unalived by the people that he wanted to point us in the direction to serve. I fear I have marched my people into a burning house. That's what Martin Luther King was coined with saying. What burning house do you think he was talking about? Continue with that verse, Officer Darash.
Or that dreamer of dreams.
I have a dream. I have a dream. They teach our babies that. Like that's something that we should literally strive after. We should never strive after attaining Martin Luther King's dream. What has Martin Luther King's dream done for you, so-called black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man, woman, and child? What has his dream done for you? Keep reading.
For the Lord, your God, proveth you.
There we go again with those possessive pronouns. Your God. He does what?
Your God proveth you.
Right.
To know whether ye love the Lord, your God, with all your heart and with all your soul.
How do you think the Lord proveth you? You go through tests. You go through trials. What are you going to do when the rubber hits the road? What are you going to do when times get a little hard? What are you going to do when you get tempted to sin against the God of the Bible, man? What are you going to do? We get tried, man. We get put through these adversities, man. Quidon, what you think? What do you think about adversity? How the Lord proveth us. Read that verse again, Officer Darash.
Khan. To know whether you love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul.
No. We started top of verse 3.
Khan. For the Lord your God proveth you. To know whether you love the Lord.
Is that the top of verse 3, 13 and 3?
Salakia. Thou shalt not hearken unto the words of that prophet.
Right. We should have never listened to Martin Luther King. Those are his words. Keep reading.
Or that dreamer of dreams.
He was the dreamer of dreams. Was he not? Keep reading.
For the Lord your God proveth you to know whether you love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul.
So when you think of your heart, man, we understand that the heart is just an organ that pumps blood throughout your body. All right? You got to understand this, man. Your heart is synonymous with your mind. How are we proving that we love the Lord with all of our mind? What are our thoughts centered upon? What are we focusing on? Getting that bag, securing, financial freedom? Is that what we focused on? We focus on pleasing some whore or some undisciplined, bratty, spoiled children? Is that what we focused on? Being God's chosen? It sounds like to me that we should be focused on proving ourselves to him. How do we do that? Through obedience. You have to be obedient. Obedient to what? Obedient to keeping those laws, statutes, commandments that were meant for us. It's the reason why he chose us, man. That's what he gave us. He didn't give them to everyone else. I'm not expecting the so-called white man to keep God's law, statutes, and commandments. But you are. You're expected to if you are a Negro or Latino or First Nations people. All right? Keep reading.
For the Lord your God proveth you to know whether ye love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul.
That's right. Keep reading.
Verse 4, ye shall walk after the Lord your God.
You're supposed to be walking it, man. You got to walk the walk. Martin Luther King, he had a good talk on him. He had a good talk game. But was he literally walking the walk? We'll see. You can look at the National Archives right now, and you can see the FBI transcripts of what they recorded, what they witnessed, transpiring within those hotel rooms, how much money he spent. Martin Luther King was a trick. He was Trick Daddy Dollars, man. He was the original Trick Daddy. Martin Luther King had holes in different area codes. That's what Martin Luther King had. Salakia. Well, the Bible says calls them whores. All right. We've shortened it up for the sake of this bastardized tongue we've had to learn in English. But the Bible uses the term whore. All right. And Martin Luther King was a whoremonger. All right. And that goes against our laws to create a whore out of our sisters, man, out of the daughters of Israel. You can't do that. Keep reading. How else do we walk after the Lord our God? It ain't by keeping the customs and traditions of America, of the Americans. How about you be an Americant? You're an Israelite, all right? You're held to a separate standard. Keep reading.
Ye shall walk after the Lord your God and fear him.
And what?
And fear him.
And what?
And fear him.
And we got to learn to fear the Lord. We have to absolutely learn to fear the Most High power, man. Don't be like the so-called oppressor. He creates clothing brands of his disdain for the Father, man. I remember coming up, they had that no fear brand. No fear. I was like, what the hell does that mean? And you got these devils trying to prove themselves. They go out and they do all kinds of craziness. Things that we would never do as so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. So we have a healthy understanding of fear. But this is a different type of fear. What fear is that? You ever sat through a hurricane or witnessed a tornado? You ever sat through an earthquake? I mean, we can't even sit through a thunderstorm. You see that lightning and you hear that thunder. And we don't even really acknowledge the Most High in all his glory, man. We don't acknowledge the things that he has done for us. You think about why he destroyed the earth initially. Read the story of Noah. Read that story. Read about Sodom and Gomorrah. Read about Jonah and Nineveh. Read about those things. That's sobering. That's absolutely sobering. You see the hand of God with what's happening right now here just in America. The type of things that we're dealing with, man, with respect to those wildfires, or even, this Arctic freeze, this blast that we're dealing with. You're going to blame it on global warming, or you're going to give it its actual, give the Lord his honor, man. You recognize, all right? Keep reading.
And fear him and keep his commandments and obey his voice, and ye shall serve him and cleave unto him.
Now, there's a lot there. This is real simple for us, man. All we got to do is be obedient to his voice. That voice is not coming from Dr. Martin Luther King. It ain't coming from Donald Trump. It's not coming from out of the Christian church. They're literally pushing you in the direction of serving other gods. Who was that dead gay pastor that decided to become an Omega here this past week? And a video of him, I guess, during the probate. He comes out. He crossed the burning sands into the land of Omega Phi Psi or Psi-Phi or whatever the hell it is. I'm not Greek. And this is a Christian pastor or artist or whatever the hell he is, then you see other Christian pastors bigging him up. What was the guy that wanted black men to grow cannabis? Was it? No, not him. Was it John Gray or whatever his name is? He's supposedly a Kappa. You think about these Christian pastors, man. You really start researching who they are and their personal lives. Martin Luther King was an Alpha and a Freemason. We reject all of that, man. I don't read about them in here. I don't read about Alpha Phi Alpha in the Bible. I don't read about Abraham, Isaac, nor Jacob striving to be a part of the goddamn Pan-Hellenic Council. We talk about them burning, crossing the burning sands, man. Even in those Greek letter organizations, those the Divine Nine is what they call them. They honor other gods. You can look at their crest and you can see that. On the crest of Alpha Phi Alpha, they have not one, not two, but three heads of the Sphinx. And we know about the Sphinx. Well, what land is it? Where is the Sphinx today? What land is that in? Were we not once in Egypt? In bondage in Egypt? Enslaved in Egypt under Pharaoh? The Deltas, they got the head of Minerva, which is another goddess of the Greeks and of the Romans, man. Martin Luther King did not. He didn't tell you not to join a Greek fraternity or sorority. But in here in the I.S.U.P.K, we're telling you no, not to do those things. We're telling you to fear the Lord. We're telling you to hearken into his voice, man, and to be obedient. Obedient to what? Keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. Unlike your Christian pastor who was silent. Don't think that he don't see you joining these fraternities and sororities. He's probably a Freemason his damn self. He's Alpha Phi gay himself. Keep reading. It's a lock here.
Verse 5. And that prophet or that dreamer of dreams shall be put to death.
He shall be what?
Shall be put to death.
That prophet, that dreamer of dreams, Martin Luther the King, he was put to death. He was put to death by the hands of the Most High Power, man. How? Where? Where was he assassinated? The Lorraine Motel in Memphis, Tennessee, room 306. What is it? April 4th, 1968. That's Martin Luther King got put to death. Not only did he get put to death, the Lord put his damn mama to death right there in their church. Look it up. Anyhow. Yeah, I just read that. Most High in Christ. The water, brother. The water for being in here with us. Most High in Christ, man. My man, Officer Daraj. If you can, Officer Daraj, continue to read. Go to verse 5.
Okay.
Keep reading through verse 5. Salakia.
And that prophet or that dreamer of dreams shall be put to death, because he hath spoken to turn you away from the Lord your God.
That's right. You think about the prophets that are pointing us in the direction away from serving God. You think about those prophets, man, starting with Martin Luther King. Who else got put to death? Eddie Long got put to death. He died a slow death. People say he had that Eazy-E thing. He was pointing brothers and sisters in the wrong direction, taking indecent liberty with the parishioners of his church. I'm sure he probably had illicit escapades with females, but no, he was touching the boys. Eddie Long had a thing for the boys, man. And that's so vile and disgusting. We talk about wickedness. Where do you think he learned that from? It's not really a common thing. Well, it is now because we've been joined with the oppressor. And you think about homosexuality and how it permeates every facet of where we live in our communities. Shout out to Atlanta, where we're going to have the Lord's, what is it? Which Passover is this? The 56th? Most High in Christ, man. Give that a hand. You know, in the past, I hate this. No, we ain't gonna say we passed the baton, but Most High in Christ, the brothers down there in Atlanta, are gonna do a tremendous job of hosting the Lord's 56th Passover, man. See, we fear the Lord in I.S.U.P.K under command of General YAHANNA. We understand how important it is for us to hold true to these traditions that the Christian church rejects. Why don't you think the Christian church wants you to celebrate the Passover? Now we're getting into identity politics. If the Christian church were to acknowledge the Passover, they'd have to completely acknowledge who you are as being a so-called Black, Hispanic, or Native Indian. They have to go into Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, and talk about those curses. You have to go in and realize that not all people were thrust out of Egypt. Not all people, literally walked across the Red Sea, man. Not all people did that. One specific, set apart, severed group of people did that. All right? Keep reading, Officer Darash.
Okay. Which brought you out of the land of Egypt.
Right.
And redeemed you out of the house of bondage, to thrust thee out of the way, which the Lord thy God commanded thee to walk in.
I get ahead of myself sometimes. That's a spiritual thing. We talk about our bondage in Egypt is the same as our bondage here in America. You think about the things that the Egyptians, the hard bondage that we had to serve under Pharaoh there in Egypt. Fast forward to 2025, man. You think about the things, your day-to-day duties, and how arduous it is for you to just accomplish one simple task in this empire, and how much is propped up and set against you in this place, man. This is Egypt. America is literally Egypt today for so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, man. And you got a new Pharaoh, and his name is Donald J. Trump. That son of a bitch 45 is now the 47th president of the United States. You think about all the 34 count felony indictment against him. He still was able to attain the highest seat, the highest office in the world. He's literally the king. If you believe in that sort of thing. My king is YAHANNA, a very dark-skinned Black man from the tribe of Judah, man, who you foolishly call Jesus Christ. That's who my king is, all right? And if you so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, he's your king too, all right? Tonight we talked about a little bit of Martin Luther King. For the sake of time, I'm going to clip the class. I'm going to pass the class over to Priest and Officer Quadam Banyahawada to read the security announcements.
Cover it up for the class.
Sorry.
Security announcements. We're the I.S.U.P.K, start out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, operating under the leadership of Commander General YAHANNA. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to share themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6 months period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. Numbers 18 and 21, Malachi 3, 8 through 10. Means tenth in the Hebrew, ma'ashara. 10% of every penny of any increase the Most High gives you. Give to the Treasury Department or priest fund. Free will, give to the Treasury Department or teacher, priest fund, Free will offer for priests, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming Holy Convocation, we have the Feast of Purim, which is the 14th day and the 15th day of the 12th month, which will be held on Thursday, the 13th of March, and the 14th of March, which is Thursday and Friday, sundown to sundown. March 25, you can find it in Esther, the 9th chapter, the 20th verse through the 31st verse. You understand? Like I said, we got the Passover, man. It'll be right around the corner, man. You understand? And make all your proper precautions as far as, you know, with this COVID and all this things like that, man. Make sure you wash your hands. You understand what I'm saying? Hand sanitizer, disinfectant, and things like that. If anyone wants to be a troop in the school, start wearing all black boots, shirts, pants, headband, and scarf. With that, I imagine just the brothers. Men of Israel, we're going to render one courteous salute to the teacher. Men of Israel, my Shabbat. I imagine. Barak. Yahweh, Shimon, Shabbat, Yahya Matah, Star, men turn, face the sisters. Sisters, I imagine, men is there. Men of Israel, we're going to render one courteous salute to the sisters. Men of Israel, my Shabbat. I imagine. Barak. Yahweh, Shimon, Yahya Matah, class dismissed.
Yeah, it's all good. I appreciate you being in here. It's all right.